all right, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
Doing well.
I see a lot of familiar faces. Thanks for coming out. We are This Fan's View. This is Ben Davis, huh? I think y'all can do a better job than that. Come on, Ben Davis. Thanks, everybody. This is truly, a good get for us. You don't know unless you ask, right? And he said yes on our first try, so I think we're buds. So, with all that being said, a lot of you know the routine. We got our raffle prizes going tonight, and there's a theme going. There's a lot of catchers up there.
Yes, there is.
A lot of catchers. So, dig in. It's going to a great charity. We just worked with Brian Propp on Monday for the University of Kent Stroke Center. So, we're accumulating a lot of dough in Brian's name. Lauren, what's he been 10 years doing that now, I believe? So, dig deep. We're going to give all this stuff away tonight around 8 o'clock. We got a lot of stuff going on. This Fan's View, our 300th show tonight.
Yes, it is.
I can't buy everybody a beer, but I'm going to buy 25 people a beer tonight. So you might want to get warm and fuzzy with Lauren.
Not so much.
Well, get to know her. Get to know her.
Anthony's here.
It's okay. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. So get with Lauren through the show. We're going to buy draft beers. Maybe Jimmy will buy another 25. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the night goes. But anyway, our guest, Ben Davis, Philadelphia Phillies. He's right home from the road trip.
Yeah.
Huh? How about that? Did you shower?
I did shower. But I will say it took us about 3.5 hours to get home from the city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we busted back, but the traffic was just awful. It took us about 2.5 just to get to Newark. It was some tough sled, but we made it.
Well, thank you for coming out, and we're going to have a lot of fun. We got a lot of questions, I'm sure. But I'd like to get the show started with thanking Jimmy Clark again for allowing us back here this month. I don't know, what's the deal? You and him played softball together or something? What was the deal? I don't know. Did you beat up on him in a softball game, Jimmy? What's going on here?
They're friends. Friends that play.
Oh, friends that played softball. There you go. Yeah, I know that softball games go. All right. Well, Johnny, what do you got? Why don't you start it off?
Well, this is a fabulous year so far from Philly. So you covered them. It's gonna be enjoyable. What do you think?
Yeah, it's you know what? I noticed something a little different in spring training. It was a team I think that was still ticked off from what happened in the NLCS last year. They obviously had a couple games in hand. They go out to the desert, lay an egg, they come back, 2 games in hand, they scored 3 runs. And I think that left a bad taste in their mouth. And they came to spring training. Yes, they goof around from time to time, but you could see it almost to a man. They meant business. And it was, okay, we need to get back to where we think we should be. And they've made the concerted effort to come out of the gates hot. That was a big goal of them to do, and they've done it. And they're playing great baseball right now. The starting pitch is great. The bullpen has really come around. And the offense is seemingly something different every night. So it's been a lot of fun, and I look for it to continue because this is a team that just doesn't get complacent.
Yeah.
They're very professional about what they do. You've heard me probably say it on the broadcast, but they're very professional how they go about their business. They're very good at worrying about the task at hand, not worrying about what happened yesterday, not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's been fun to watch, and a bunch of really good dudes that love playing the game.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing Harper. You can see experience in him as well. In the post-game interviews and stuff with the guys, it's like, he's excited, but he's calm.
Yeah, I think.
It's not like getting overboard.
Yeah, I think they enjoy a victory like everybody else, but they kind of keep it reserved just so they don't get too high or too low, and it's refreshing to see.
And you trickle down, and Baldwin stop it, that they're doing well as well, and you can see them taking that next level step themselves.
Yeah, I was on another radio show today, and I said that Bryson Stott and Alec Bohm can play on my team any day of the week. First and foremost, they have great instincts, especially Bryson. He's a true baseball player that always seems to be in the right spot on the field. The bats come alive. He's using the whole field. He's unbelievable with 2 strikes. Righties, lefties, it doesn't matter. And he can play all over the diamond. He's just a baseball player that just flat out gets it. And then you got Alec Bohm, who is coming to his own. It's no longer ball hit to third base, you're holding your breath. He's a very good third baseman. He's made himself into that. He's worked his tail off to do so. And, what he does at the plate, he's going to hit 40 homers? Probably not. But the dude's going to drive in a lot of runs. He's going to be great with 2 strikes. And he's going to hit for average. I'll take that guy any day of the week.
Yeah, and it's amazing how ever since that one game, we said how things have changed with him, and just it's refreshing to see it.
Well, it was good because you know better than anybody. If you're accountable for your actions, what you say, what you do, how you act, this city will embrace you. And he said, "Yeah, I said it. Did I mean it? No, but it just came out." And ever since then, he's the fans have loved it. He didn't start the next day, but I think he pinched hit like the 8th inning. They gave a standing ovation because he was accountable. Because I did say it, and I think that the city just appreciates accountability and hard work, and that's what this team gives you.
Yeah, it seemed like it took a big weight off the shoulders, and just turned him into a totally different baseball player.
Yeah. Yep.
So with a room full of Phillies fans, we played over 40 games. Is there a reason to be concerned because they're winning so much so early? I mean, does that sound right?
No, I don't think you can ever win too much. And again, they're not going to get complacent because of the wins. People say, well, they haven't played anybody. Yes, there's some bad baseball teams out there. But you can only play who's on your schedule. Tonight, they can't worry about what the Dodgers are doing, what the Braves are doing. They got to worry about the Mets. And you just play the team that's in the other dugout. And that's all you can do, and that's what they've been doing. And, they're just going about their business and winning baseball games. But I don't think you could ever win too much.
No, but and again, we've seen it in the past years. They've lost those teams. Some of these teams, these bad teams, so far. And they're taking care of business this year.
Without a doubt. Last year they had a losing record to the Marlins.
Right.
So they went in there down in Miami. I know they lost the last game, but the first couple they handled their business. And all you want to do is win series, and they were able to do that.
Yeah. Now the only, I guess, concern or question with the baseball rules that they have now with the playoffs, where the first and second seeded teams get the buys. How do you feel about that? Do you like that? Because 6 out of 8 teams over 2 years have lost.
Yeah.
In that first round because hitters lose time.
Yeah, you look at what the Dodgers did last year. If you would have told me that Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman would have had 3 hits, in that series, I'd have said, yeah, you're full of it.
That's the one thing.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. That's the way baseball is. But I don't know. I think you kind of make your own fate. And the Phillies just came out and beat the Braves the last couple of years because, in my mind, they just play better baseball. They got time to hitting. Obviously, the fans support helping out here at the bank, and that's the way it goes. But I that is 6 out of 8. That is a big number, but I don't think you can really prove that winning the division is a bad thing. You get a couple days extra rest. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, which could help with the veteran team, a little bit recover, but that's my only concern, I guess, about winning the division because of you said about the Braves or the Dodgers, especially the Braves or another team, but losing out. I mean, there's only the Astros that have won 6 out of 8 teams.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can worry about winning the division on May 15th. But, you know, like I said, I think they're just worried about playing good baseball.
And that's all you gotta do.
So you talked a little bit about it with Bowen, being a pro athlete here in Philadelphia. Some guys can handle it, some guys can't. You know, from your side of the diamond, you know, what's your perspective on that? You know, when, is it too much pressure? You know, is it too young? You know, how do a lot of these guys handle this?
Well, I think it's a mindset of how you can play here. Again, you gotta be accountable and you gotta put your work in and just you take the good with the bad. I think that's all you can do is can't really worry about what, you know, Johnny Smith from Drexel Hill is gonna say about you the next day or whoever. You know, you just gotta worry about playing baseball and playing it the right way. Can this city be tough to play in sometimes? Yeah, it can, but no tougher than New York or Boston, no tougher than LA. You know, you look at some of these high-powered teams, they got to answer a lot of questions as well. So these high-dollar teams. So you know, go play your game, and hopefully it's good enough in the city.
And just as hard as we are, when it's going well, there's nobody better, you know, supporting.
Well, no.
You know, so it's kind of a give and take, and you know, Ricky was here as well, with Calico, and you know, same thing. It's like you guys are harder on yourself than fans are.
Right.
You know, first, you know, beforehand. You know, no shit.
Yeah, you got to look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself, and you know, if there's something that you're not doing, try and fix it. Try and remedy the situation.
Exactly.
You were just looking at, you were talking about Bryson Stott. Like a week ago, he was batting what, 250? You know.
Well, going into yesterday's game, he had an 11-game hitting streak. Before that, now he's got a 12-game hitting streak. Before that, he was hitting 210. And now I think his average is close to 280. So it is something, especially early on in the season, how fast he can turn around. And, you know, it's been fun to watch. Like I said, that guy is just, he's got him and the guy on the mound, the Night Ranger. There's a couple guys on this team, they don't have a heartbeat. And it's just, there's no panic. There's no, I have to do more. It's just, hey, you're going to get my best. If it's not my best, you beat me, then so be it. But I think I'm going to beat you with what I have.
Yeah. And the bigger point of that was we stop at Strider in the playoffs. You know, got that big hit, or was it a walk? I think it was.
No, I think it's a double down the line.
So yeah, you know, that, you know, just working the count and reset the right after that, you know. So you know, it's one of those things you just work the count.
Yeah.
It's, you know, tough stuff out.
Yes, they are.
Taking the past two nights with Bowman getting hit. Can we read anything into that?
No, not with the bases loaded. Not with the bases loaded. I was really worried that first one when Diaz hit him on the pinky. And he showed us in the clubhouse yesterday and had just glanced off his left pinky. And he said, there's no marks, it's not swollen. And Tom and I were like, man, you're lucky. He's like, guys, no kidding. So that was, I think we all held our collective breaths on that one. You know, this is a guy that's obviously an RBI machine and our everyday third baseman or first baseman, someone marked the age. But yeah, it was glad to see that he stayed in that ball game and played yesterday as well.
Yeah, coming back yesterday, because you see how that thing back yesterday.
All right, Lauren's going to be walking around. Any questions, comments from that Big Ben? He's here. He's here live in Delco.
We got a question already.
Hey Ben, being obviously catching yourself, I know it's still early in the season, but any concerns with JT Realmuto with his injury?
Any concerns with JT? The Phillies say no, I say yes. Just because it is his knee. And anytime he comes with knees and catching, you kind of worry a little bit. And it's been a couple days now where he hasn't played. And I didn't even see if he was in there tonight, but he is back in there. That's a good sign. But yeah, I'm always worried when it comes to, it's just like Trey Turner with his hamstring. He's a guy that uses his legs, obviously, an awful lot. If you pull a hammy, I'm worried. That's the way it is, because those are things that can linger. But, I think they must have had gotten a picture of his knee. They thought there's nothing wrong and there's nothing out of place in his knee. Maybe it's just some inflammation, get that out of there and get him back playing. So I am glad that he's back in there tonight.
All right, we got another question.
Hey, Ben.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Listen, I just want to have a bit of a concern when we get to the postseason, that pitcher really tightens up. Are they going to be able to generate runs if they're not hitting it out of the park? And that seems to be what stalled them the last couple of years. Are you seeing anything that gives you more comfort?
I actually am, yeah. You're looking at a couple times that, in that series where they were able to manufacture runs somehow, some way. I think the only home run they hit in the 2 games in New York was the one stopped off Diaz. So that was refreshing to see that they still were able to win some ball games by stringing hits together. A couple hits here, a couple hits there, doubles, singles. We saw one hit by Stubbs the other day to score a run with 2 outs. That was awesome. So yeah, I think they've realized that, hey, over the last couple of years, if we are not hitting home runs, we have to find other ways. I always equate a home run hitting team to a 3-point shooting basketball team. If those threes are going down, that's great. Hooray for everybody. But if those threes aren't going down, then we got to do some pick and rolls. We got to do some backdoor screens, something to get a bucket. And I think that's the way the Phillies are right now.
All right, we're in trouble early. They're down 1-0.
Yeah, but Bowman made this play. Save a couple runs.
All right, we got another question.
All right.
So the last 2 seasons, they started off weak and ended up finishing strong. This year, they started off strong, one of the best teams in the league. Do you fear that they will finish weak and do the opposite of the last 2 seasons?
Are you a psychology major?
No, I don't have any fear of that. I mean, every team is going to go peaks and valleys. I think they're on pace to win 111 games. Do I think they're going to win 111? No, I don't. But I do think that this team, as I said before, it's built to win. It's built to win right now. And these guys have a lot of pride in themselves, a lot of pride in their craft. And I think that's going to be a mainstay for them throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, that's the nice part about this team. You got a lot of veterans, that have been through the valleys. So you got a game or two struggle. They know it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like a lot of these veterans, they know how to maintain their bodies throughout the course of 162 games as well. When to rest, when to take early BP, when to kind of cool off a little bit, when to go out and, am I going to take 50 ground balls today or am I going to take 20 ground balls today? So they do have that in the back of their mind, how their body's feeling and attack accordingly.
All right, I got another one.
Hey Ben, what was more nerve-wracking for you, your Major League debut or your broadcasting debut?
Oh, Major League debut, for sure. I wasn't very nervous about my broadcasting debut. Fortunately for me, Tom McCarthy makes my job a lot easier. You're not going to find a more prepared play-by-play guy in the world. And as long as I know I do my homework, I'm going to be fine. I always tell my wife, just when I get on there, I just got to speak more gooder. So, no, it's just, I love what I do. I wish I could do every game. I know that probably wouldn't excite too many people, but I love what I do. Next to playing, honestly, is the greatest thing in the world. Because I still feel like I'm part of a team, getting to hang out in the clubhouse, talk to the guys, talk to Rob Thompson, the coaching staff on a daily basis. But I don't have to worry about the over fours. And believe me, with me, there were a lot of them. So, I still feel like I'm part of the game in that aspect, but I don't have to worry about the bad stuff that happens. So, it's just a lot of fun. And watching, my first year in the booth was 15. And 15, 16, 17, even 18 to a point it was a grind. There were some lean years there with some guys that, I don't want to say anything negative about them, but there were some tough times, and we were trying to find stuff to talk about in the booth. At times it was challenging, and positive things. But watching this group the last couple of years, man, it's made my job that I love even that much more enjoyable.
did you get a chance to talk to Lucio Polanco when he was in town?
I did not. I was in the studio that day, so I didn't do the pre and post. So I didn't get a chance to get over the ball.
Yeah, he had a lot of positive things to say, because he was in those lean years.
Yes.
He had a lot of positive things to talk about the organization, and the first time and the second time.
Yes. I will give this organization a lot of credit. Obviously starts at the top with the ownership and John Middleton and the Bucks, and to put the team that they've assembled on the field for us to watch on a daily basis, that takes a lot of gumption, because they're spending an awful lot of money to put this team on the field. But boy, they're fun to watch. Dave Dombrowski, what he's been able to do, the guy's a genius. He's just an absolute genius, and a great guy, by the way, Dave Dombrowski. But you got to give those guys a lot of credit, because they've assembled a great ball club. And not that managing is ever easy, but it's made Rob Thompson's job a lot easier, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, you got a lot of these still out there with a bunch of all-stars.
It's not even hitting season yet.
Well, no, exactly, that's what it's definitely makes it more fun, for sure.
Lauren, you ready for a little trivia? We'll kind of split it up and try to get this all in tonight.
Yep, let's do it.
Johnny?
All right, we're doing a little bit of different trivia tonight. Since today's our 300th show, we got a little bit about our show and also about Ben. All right, great job,
I thought they were so excited for trivia. Wow. This is hard to be good.
That guy's decent. I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah. He hit that one on the left field. He was pull behind on that one. All right. According to USA Today, at the time of Ben's draft, he was considered the best catcher to come out of baseball since who?
Oh.
Dale Murphy.
There you go.
Very good. Very good.
There you go. I didn't even have to throw in the former Philly one. Good job. There you go.
That's Johnny, that's that ringer table.
Yeah,
You know about that table, right?
And the young one's not even here.
Yeah, that's that ringer table. All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. It's all good.
Now you got it.
It's all good.
He's not here. It's a little bit further right for you. All right. On September the 15th, 1999, Ben recorded his first 4-hit game in his career. Off of which pitcher? Future Hall of Famer. Which he hit a home run with the gentleman as well.
John Smoltz.
Wow.
There you go. Good job.
Well done.
On the Braves.
I get a quick story about John Smoltz.
Let's have it.
So, that game against Smoltz, it was in San Diego. I hit opposite field home run left-handed, had 3 other hits, and that's when John Smoltz was starting. So I'm thinking, I think the next year he was closing. So he came into a game, like in the 9th inning, and I see Smoltz come in. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I handled him last year. He comes in, the first pitch is 99. I went, oh no. Next pitch is 99. I went, like perfectly located fastballs. So I see the next pitch come out of his hand. I said, get it started early. So I started to swing and threw me like a 90-mile-an-hour splitter. And it went straight and boom, bottom fell out of it. I took my cap and I walked back to the dugout. I was like, this is not the same dude that will start next year. So he was able to come in as a closer and just air it out for 1 inning. And he didn't leave anything in the tank. So that was,
He remembered you.
he put me in my place in a hurry.
All right. With tonight being our 300 show, who was our first guest here at Hanrahan on September 22nd, 2022?
You're a clever little bugger, John.
Yep.
Was it Ricky Metallica?
No, but I wouldn't have given that anyway.
That's a good guess.
It is a Philly, though. I'll give you that.
Okay, I was gonna say, can we get a score? I'm afraid the speakers.
Who was our first guest? here at Hanrahan's.
It's very good.
There you go.
Where is the winner?
Was it?
It's Greg Gross.
Oh, Gigi, my high school baseball coach.
It's the other side.
Another ringer. Another ringer. Congratulations, by the way. The man just got his master's degree. Give it up.
Yes.
Give it up.
Congratulations.
Find that man a beer.
All right, and then going off that same theme, our 250th show was here at Hanrahan's on June 14th, 2023. Who is the guest?
That was a quick one.
There was.
I've got a guess of Mark Howe.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. No? Barney Ferran.
Incorrect. Another baseball. We're still baseball.
Okay. I have to dodge the speaker.
I know you did. You did a good job with that. I saw that.
That's not throw out a hint. What do you think? Well, yeah.
He works with Dan. Or with
He works with them. Oh.
Mickey Mornini.
Nope.
He works with them.
Ruben.
Ruben Maradona.
Ricky Vitale.
No, not Ricky.
Wow.
You just cleaned out the press box.
Was it Dan Baker?
It is Dan Baker. There you go. And you forgot. You were here. Come on.
All right, we're closing in on 7 o'clock. We got a little business to take care of. Again, I want to thank Jimmy Clark and this establishment for inviting us back again. Take care of your waitresses and bartenders. Maybe I added plural, I'm not sure. Just me.
Just me too.
They're doing a great job bringing out food and beverages, so please take care of them. Again, the raffle prizes, you get 2 free tickets. Come on up and see Sue. Sue, you want to give a little wave? There you go. There you go. Sue's biggest fan. Robert, thank you, Robert. Thanks for coming out. Everybody has a fan. Get your 2 free raffle tickets, $1 a piece. We got some great stuff we're giving away around 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to give it all away, so hopefully we get a bunch of happy people. So what else do we got to do? 300 shows. City Distilling's been on board with us for a number of years now as our primary sponsor. Without Hanrahan's, we wouldn't be able to do this, and we certainly appreciate all of them. Like I said earlier in the show, you need to get to Lauren. She's got some free beverages to give out. So we're celebrating 300, and we'd like you guys to celebrate with us. So you got 14 left. Wow, bunch of thirsty people. That's all good. It's all good. The next batch is on June. So anyway, again, you want to do the Mattis Minute? Where do you want to go with this? Because we're right around the 7 o'clock hour, and I know you're good. All right, I got one more question for our guests, and I'd like them to break down the big 3 of the starting rotation. You know, Noah, Wheeler, Ranger, of course. How good are they, and how good can they get?
They're really good. I'm going to start with Zach Wheeler. I think he's great. Obviously, what happened on Sunday was not very indicative of that, but he was very accountable for his. He just didn't have it. He just didn't have it. It does happen in this game. Unfortunately, it had to happen against the Marlins. I'm glad I'm not a betting man because I would have probably bet one of my kids that he was going to go out and beat the Marlins, but.
Especially after Castellanos.
Exactly. The first day, they threw 10 pitches in the first inning. No brainer. But it is baseball, it happens. But he's, from a pitching standpoint, that guy's just got a whole arsenal to get you out there. And I just love watching him pitch. I would have loved him. The top 3 with him and Nolan, Ranger, I would love to catch all three of them because they throw each pitch with conviction. And I always talk about, Aaron, the way he threw yesterday, that honestly may have been the best I've ever seen him throw. He was still, even 94 in the ninth inning. His curveball was, he could throw the get me over curveball, he could do the put away curveball. He was awesome, just awesome. His cutter was great. So his fastball location, I can't say enough about the way he threw the ball yesterday. And he's faced those guys a ton of times. I think going into Alonso and Nimmo both had like 46 career at-bats against them. And so they've seen these, and Marte, they've seen him an awful lot. And then with Ranger, this is a family show, so I'm going to keep it clean. He's got a lot of intestinal fortitude, let's put it that way. Yeah, he's got stumps. The guy I always say his giving you-know-what factors at zero. He just goes out and pitches. He doesn't care who's in the box, what the score is, what the count is. He's going to get the ball and throw it with conviction. And again, another guy I would have loved to have kept caught. He reminds me a lot of a guy called Chicago, Mark Burley. Burley would go into his windup, and I wouldn't even put his sign down yet. He would just grab it, whatever sign I put, he'd grab it and throw it. So they're very similar in their arsenal and how they pitch. So those three are great. And then Christopher Sanchez has been great. It's funny talking with Rob Thompson yesterday in New York. He thinks that Christopher Sanchez, every time he goes out, he gains a little bit more confidence. We saw him throwing 94 to 96 yesterday. But what he was able to do on Monday, to get out of what the jams he had and give them 5 2/3 after seemingly that third inning was just slipping away. He found it. It showed me a lot of what he's got inside. But Rob Thompson thinks he's got a tremendous upside as well. So definitely some good arms in the Phillies rotation.
Yeah, for Carl, comparison a lot with Green, they're like a year or two behind. But,
and I think he's taken a couple pages out of Ranger's book, and the fact that he knows he throws his fastball's a tick higher than Ranger, but he was just a guy that would live fastball away to lefties. Now he's starting on that sinker on underneath the hands of some of these lefties that he wasn't willing to do that. Ranger's always been willing to do that, but now Christopher Sanchez is doing that too, and then that makes the changeup better, the breaking ball away. So I think he's taking a couple pages out of Ranger's book.
It's all about trusting your stuff, right?
Without a doubt. But I think, he's starting to trust that a little bit more and realize that, hey, you know what? I'm 6'6", I throw 96, I got a good sinker and changeup, that enough. Is if I locate, I'm gonna be fine. Right.
Hey, while we're still talking about pitching, how would you have handled the new format with, the catcher handling, the coding device where would you have been on that?
Well, I would have had to learn the system, that I would have had to learn. It's cool, I was in spring training, I got to actually listen to the device that the pitchers put in the perimeter of their hat. And it's JT's voice, and it just says, you press the button and it translates fastball in. But it's in JT's voice. And I think it's pretty cool. And then a lot of the Latin guys, they have it in Spanish, which I think is awesome. So they have it there, so there's no confusion if out there on the mound. So it's I think it's made it a lot easier for everybody. So you don't have a pitcher on the mound shaking. He just waits for the sign that he likes to hear, and they go.
So they're motioning multiple times so they flash.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of just waiting for your sign.
Yeah.
And a lot of the pitchers are holding their own device too now, I see.
Yeah, there's some guys that call their own game. So I know like Max Scherzer's a guy that does it down in Texas. Zach Greinke did it with the Royals last year. I retired, but some guys still do it on their own, so they're out there calling their own game. I thought that would be great. Take all the pressure off the catcher. I don't have to worry about, hey, I didn't call that. You're the one who wanted it and wanted to throw it. So it would take a lot of pressure off.
And I know you talk about it a lot during the game, but like, how much difficult is the new catching style as well?
Yeah, it's different. I think I don't have a problem with it with nobody on base. But you got a guy on third and there's a ball in the dirt, you just get locked in a position. Now JT can get away with it because he's so stinking athletic. Right. But there are times, even him, you get locked in onto the ground, you can't move laterally. So I would like to see that change. I don't think it's going to, because they're saying that the numbers are coming back, saying they're getting so many more strikes at the bottom of the zone as opposed to being on, being in the normal squat position. So I don't think it's going to come back anytime soon, but I would like to see with a guy on third base, be up a little, be willing to move laterally, be able to block the ball.
They're exposing themselves to a lot.
Yes, they are.
Foul balls.
Yes, they are. I mean, I got hit a lot because I was a bigger guy, a bigger catcher. And, but these guys, I mean, they're exposing their thighs, they're exposing, up underneath and everything. So you're seeing a lot more foul tips, that's for sure.
Garrett Stubbs is small, right? He gets
He gets hit all the time. I don't know, there's something about it, like you got a magnet on it.
All right, we're gonna have a little fun, right, with the Mattis Minute?
All right, so, Ben, since this is your first time, I thought they were excited for the Madison Minute.
I think they are.
So we have 10 questions. They're just like fun, funny questions. Some of them have to do with baseball and some of them don't. And we just kind of want the first thing that comes to your mind. If you have a good story about your answer, we want to hear that though.
I can expand.
Yes. What's your absolute favorite concession item to eat at Citizens Bank Park?
I go back and forth. I love the Bull's burnt end cheesesteak. It's awesome. And then I love the Federal Donuts chicken sandwich. Those two are dynamite. But the Bull's burnt end cheesesteak is just, there's something about it, just melts in your mouth. It's freaking awesome.
Anything from the Wolf.
Are you more of a Star Wars guy or a Harry Potter guy?
I'm gonna say neither.
Okay,
So
that's fair.
I'm just trying to be honest.
That's fair.
I have seen the first 3 Star Wars,
Okay.
but I'm really not a whole big sci-fi guy
All right.
or magic.
Where were you when you first saw yourself on a baseball card?
Well, in Little League, you get the photographer guy comes out and you can get baseball cards at 5x7s to give your grandparents and all that. So I guess that would be my first one. Down in AFL.
Shout out. New news.
Who were the pitchers for your first major league hit and first major league home run?
Man, I think my first major league hit was up Mark Brownson of the Rockies, and then my first home run was in Anaheim in interleague play, and I'm having trouble with that one. So I'm sorry. I should know that. I should know that.
If you can only have one, Pop-Tarts or a bagel?
Bagel all day long, extra butter.
Where'd that-
Butter's like my favorite food.
Where did Mattis pull that one
Did you ever hit a batter in the head when throwing a ball back to the pitcher?
Yes. We saw that happen with Harper the other night. I've done it.
Was it on purpose?
No, that wasn't perfect. Because sometimes they just kind of linger over the plate, they don't move, and my arm's on that side of the left-handed hitter. It does happen, unfortunately.
Why doesn't baseball use a double bag at first, like the women do in softball?
I just,
The guy who wrote these questions also is a softball coach.
yeah,
so-
I just think that will give an advantage to the infielder because you have that extra bag that he would, you have what an extra, I don't know how many inch, foot or whatever it is, that the ball will get there that much quicker.
Okay. Have you ever gone skydiving, surfing, or sang karaoke?
Karaoke,
Okay.
yes. Now, jumping out of a perfectly functioning airplane isn't my idea at any time.
Okay. Chicken wings, bone in or boneless?
Depends on where they're from.
I like
Most of the time, I'm going boneless, they're easier to eat.
Yeah.
But there's some places that just have really good wings on the bone, so I'm going, yeah, it depends. But it can't be too hot, I don't like it real spicy on my lips.
Of your 9 career stolen bases,
Yeah.
how many were the back end of the double steal, and did they ever try to get you instead of the lead runner?
I don't believe anywhere on the back end of a double steal, because, no, that whenever I stole, it was the complete element of surprise, believe me. Now, we were joking the other day, we were down in Florida, Miami, and Trey Turner was in the outfield. And he was just, with his hamstring, he was just jogging casually. And I said, one of the beat writers, I said, that's already faster than I ever went in my life. I always ran hard, I just wasn't going very fast.
And that's when I was finished.
There you go. I'm glad you didn't ask me like what my favorite kid was.
We want to go back.
Yeah, it's, no children questions unless you want to talk about it. You got a son playing in
No,
that, right?
we got 4 kids, 2 of my life.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
Larry Anderson always says, I got 3 kids, 1 of each. Like, what? Larry's hilarious.
We love Larry.
Yeah.
We love him. All right, again, questions, comments? I don't want anybody to leave here and say, man, I wish I had asked a question. I hate getting that call the next day. When are you having Ben back?
Yeah, I need to ask you. Well, while they're thinking about it, let's talk about, your bunt against Kurt Schilling. You know, it's a good move, right? You know, you need the ovation, you bring the time around the plate.
Yeah, and looking back on people always ask, would you have done it again? And I said, yeah, I brought the winning or the time run at home plate. Bubba Trammell behind me. I think he had 25 home runs that year. And I think I said it best after the game. I said, the reporters asked me about it. I said, why did you do it? I said, did you see my first 2 at-bats? I said, did you actually think I was going to get a hit, swing at it? No, Kurt was that good that night. I just figured, hey, if I could do it. If it was 8-0, no, I wouldn't have done it. But I broke the time run and played, and he didn't win the game, but at least it made him work from the stretch, work from everything. It was weird because I went in the dugout afterwards, and they were calling me everything but a man in the other dugout. And I went in and I sat down next to Tony Gwynn. I said, "T, did I do anything wrong?" And he said, "Man, the hell with those guys." So I knew it was okay. I talked to Bruce Boach, who's my manager. He talked to him. He said, "You didn't do anything wrong." He said, "If you did, believe me, I'll be the first one to tell you." But
If it wasn't a 2-0 game, it's a different story.
correct. One of the coolest things about that, though, is again, I wasn't the best offensive player, but we went back to the desert and played the Diamondbacks the following week, and Kurt was on the mound again. Didn't have the same stuff. And that was the year 01 is when they won the World Series. They beat the Yankees in the World Series, and they had 55,000 people there every night, and they announced, number 13 Ben Davis. I got the hell booed out of me. It was unbelievable. And I hit a single up the middle of Kurt, so that was cool. It kind of made him shut up. And my next at bat, now batting number 13, Ben, they booed again. I hit a double down the line. So and then third at bat they stopped going. So that was a little bit of vengeance, on my part. So that was pretty cool.
You see Schilling, he's been back a couple of times.
You know what? I've never talked to him about it. The subject has never been brought up.
Crazy obscure question. Have you always worn number 13?
I have. My dad wore it. I wore it. 3 of the 4 kids wear it. The other one wears 31. So, it's just something I've always worn because my dad wore it.
All right, I got a question out here.
Where are you at?
Question out here.
The other one actually likes 31.
What is the best hitting advice you've ever gotten from Tony Gwynn?
Best hitting advice? He had 3 things that he always said to me. Well, he said to everybody, really. He said, get in your stance. That's 1. Get your foot down. That's 2. Take the knob of the bat to the ball. That's it. He goes, that's how you hit it. And, obviously he simplified it, but he was a magician with his bat in his hands. And the guy won 8 batting titles. 8 times he was the best hitter in the league. He used a 32.5-inch bat, 29.5 ounces. Sometimes he was feeling real strong, he used a 33.30. So, no, he was just fun to watch. He was fun to watch, and we miss him.
Great question. Yep. Take that advice to the next game.
You know what was cool? Tony Gwynn had, so if you look at a Louisville Slugger bat, there's all different kinds of finishes. You can have it natural, which is no paint on it at all. Tony had a bat that was called a Tony Gwynn finish. So it was an unfinished basically from like the label all the way down to the knob. It was unfinished. And on the top half of it was black, right? So he would use those bats in batting practice. and he would swing, and he'd swing, and he'd swing, and at the end of batting practice, there'd be one mark on the bat. Because he hit the same part of the bat every time. He was special. He was special. He also had 20/10 vision. Ted Williams had 20/10 vision. So what I see at 10 feet, they can see at 20 feet. So that made hitting a little bit easier. Not that it's ever easy, but they can see the ball a lot better than we could.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Now, we talked about it a little bit before the show. That's two players now with Tony and Ichiro that you played with. Who was better?
That's a great question. I think Ichiro is more of a complete player. But Tony, I think, was a better pure hitter. Ichiro got a lot of infield hits, but he was a tremendous, unbelievable outfielder, great arm. Tony Gwynn won a couple of Gold Gloves, stole a lot of bases early in his career. But I'd say Tony was a better hitter. But Ichiro was a joy to play with. There were nights when he would go 0 for 4, and I'd still be like, he'd do something on the baseball field that would just amaze me. The thing about Ichiro is he would, I don't know how many career home runs he hit, but in batting practice every day, he would lay 2 bunts down and then hit 30 balls out in a row. And I'm not saying like wall scrapers. He would grunt, and he hit balls off the windows in Seattle, which I couldn't hit from right field. And he was, Ichiro was like 5'10", 175 pounds, and he could just launch balls. We always wanted him to enter the home run contest in the All-Star game. He never would do it. But guys would come out from other teams just to watch Ichiro hit batting practice because it was just one after the next, just launching balls. End of the game, you get up there and hit it 2-hopper to shortstop and beat it out.
Now, why wouldn't he do the home run derby?
He was more of an average guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he just didn't want to. He didn't want to be on that stage. I think in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, so we missed, half the spirit basically in the field with Japan. He was another special hitter. Made it look too easy.
Yes, he did.
That's for sure.
Can you share any stories with us from the press box? Working with McCarthy and Crump some nights and Ricky some nights, and even like Michael Marquez. He's a trick. I mean, he goes up and down, back and forth. Where's he gauging this season? Michael, I'm talking, because we really didn't have anything to complain about.
No, he's been happy. Michael's been happy. Ricky's been happy. I work with all great people, and we have a great rapport. Whether I'm in the studio or in the booth, we, as I mentioned, T-Mac's the best. Michael Barkan is the best at what he does. He's so good. Yeah, I don't want to work with Johnny a whole lot. He's not always in the best mood.
No, he's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, he's a trip. But yeah, we work with just a really good bunch of guys, and we get along really well. I will tell you one story. So I have my own headset that I take everywhere with me. That we have these little boxes that you plug in. One's a call button that you got to call. The other one's a talk back, so I can talk to our producer to tell him, hey, I want to see this replay, or play that swing slowly, or whatever. So my own headset. So one day in spring training, I think it was last year, I carried around this headset in a plastic Tupperware container, and it's pink and it has a white top on it, plastic top. And it looks like you would carry a salad or something along those lines, like potato salad or something like that. So Tom, every time he makes a joke, oh, you got an ambrosia salad in there? And I'm like, no, it's my headset. So last year in spring training, we get into the booth, and I pulled my thing out. I'm like, man, this thing feels heavy today. So I open it up, filled with the ambrosia salad. Obviously, my headset was not in there. He took them out, thankfully, and I looked up, and he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So, but he did clean it out. And, but there's quite a bit of hijinks that goes on from time to time, but we have fun.
Very good. Good story. Good story. You want to run some more trivia? I think we're left.
3 prizes left.
3 prizes.
All right. CC was paying attention to the Phillies games. During the Phillies game the other day, Ben said that he was going to go to which concert? That's going to be at Citizens Bank Park.
I just heard it somewhere back there. Bingo, Riley Green is right. Well done.
There you go.
Has anyone opened up the trivia prizes? Who'd you get? Nice.
There you go.
Nice. There you go. Very nice. Yeah, we put a little thought into them.
Yeah.
Who'd you get?
Chooch.
Chooch. Wow.
Another Moyer.
You're winning tonight, young man.
Someone's looking forward to the Yogi Bear as well.
Yo. Take it away.
All right.
But it's all
We did have another question in the audience, so let's run to that real quick.
Another question?
What's your favorite memory in MLL?
My favorite memory in Major League Baseball? Oh, AMLL? Winning the state championship in 1988 was great. Unfortunately, we went up to regionals. We were 1 game shy of Williamsport. And this is back when, only 4 teams went from north, south, east, and west, and then 4 international teams. That kind of stunk when we did get to go. But just winning the state championship was something, I still talk about with a lot of those guys in that ball club. I will say my 12-year-old year at Aston Middletown, after all-star practice, we'd go down and, we'd get an old bat and we'd hit rocks into the creek. And we're down there one day and I was standing too close to Tim Donnelly and he swung and he hit me and broke my nose. So I had to, Tim and I graduated Malvern together and he still feels badly to this day about it, but I probably went in that and breaking my nose.
That is not a good start.
No. No, it's not.
All right, sorry, back to the trivia.
Back to trivia. All right. In 2010, Ben played for the Canton River Sharks and played what position?
Man, you guys all got arms.
Pitcher.
There you
Yes.
go. There you go. You converted in 2008 to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I realized that I felt like I was always swinging with a donut on after a while, and I figured I still had a really good arm, and why not? So the Reds actually signed me. I went to A-ball and was closing down there, and I was doing well. And then the day that the manager told me I was going to Double-A, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I got up next morning, I could lift my shoulder, which bothered me a little bit. So I tore the ligaments of the AC joint up here, and I had surgery. And I had to rehab it, and I figured, I did all this rehab, I might as well pitch again. 2010 was my last year.
Right. Cool ballpark, too.
It used to be, now it's knocked down, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was a great place to play.
All right. And which team drafted Ben, and what pick was he in the first round? No yelling it out.
Great shout out.
Number 2 overall by the Padres.
I'm sorry, what?
Number 2 overall by the
That
Padres.
is correct.
That's it.
That is correct.
Long time ago.
Yep, 1995.
And I'm officially out of trivia.
We're out of trivia.
That's
All
it.
right.
How about draft day? It was probably a little bit different. You were probably at home.
Draft day was a lot different back then. I get up in the morning, and my dad said, go cut the grass. So I hopped on the John Deere, and out I went. And then I had to, we had 3 different, we had a tractor, and we had a couple push mowers for inside the fencing area. So I got done doing the push mower stuff, came in, showered, and just basically sat around and waited for a call. And that's, they call it a landmine, which I still have, by the way, a landmine at our house. Very happy to say. No, that ain't gonna say that. But where we live, we don't get any reception, so we still have to have a landline.
Right. And then, did you know that you were going to be going that early?
I had a good idea. We were on the phone with them the day before, and it was just great. It was just an awesome day, and I still remember you know, we had a lot of family and friends over, and we had food and this and that. And, I remember my folks were like, "Why don't you get out of here? Go." So I went to my buddy Mario Severa's graduation party at Mountain. So I went to Mario's thing and got to see all my boys, and they congratulated me. It was really fun. It was a lot of fun. And then I think they flew me out to San Diego, my folks, and signed a contract. Came back home, packed, and went to Idaho Falls.
Now, back then was a little bit different. Did you interact with a lot of the draft members in that draft class? Boy, Halliday was in your draft class.
Yeah, no, I didn't really. It wasn't that way back then. It was
Right.
You blinders on, you worry about yourself and your ball club, and you go. So
No perfect team.
no, definitely no perfect game or anything like that. No social media,
Right.
not even any cell phones. So life was a bit simpler back then.
One last question about the Phillies current squad playing so well. If they stay on this great pace, can you see them doing anything at the trade deadline?
The only thing I think they might do is maybe get a left-handed bat off the bench, like a power guy, like a Matt Stairs, something like that. And
That's out there.
yeah, Matt, I would say that, and depending on how the starting rotation goes, if Walker does well or doesn't do well, Turnbull doesn't do well or does well, maybe, I don't know. We'll just see how it shakes out from a pitching standpoint, but possibly a left-handed bat off the bench, maybe another starter, who knows, but the way they're throwing the ball right now, there's really no need for concern.
Probably a left-handed outfielder.
Yeah.
It's just a,
Yeah, I think that could be a possibility, just for a bat.
All right, I do have another question in the audience.
All right.
Hey, Ben, just kind of piggybacking on you being drafted and whatnot, at what age did you know, or did somebody come to you and say, like, you know what, you got something special going on here, you got a chance to be a big league player?
Honestly, I think it was going into my senior year in high school. Again, I graduated with 81 other kids from Melbourne. A small school back then. It's grown a little bit, but Northeast baseball, not great. I think my junior year, I played 15 games. 15, because the weather was so bad. My senior year, I played 25. But going into my senior year, I got invited to play the national showcase type thing out in St. Louis, and they picked 4 teams, north, south, east, and west. It was basically a junior Olympics. And I went out there and I did really well. From that team, they picked 18 national guys. And I was the catcher. David Ross was the other catcher on the team. Our third baseman was Michael Barrett, who played for a lot of years. Our left fielder was Randy Wolf. Our right fielder was Eric Valent. Brian Friel was our second baseman. Out of those 18 guys, I think like 15 of them got some big ones. Crazy. So we were up in Brandon, Manitoba, and we got the silver medal, unfortunately. And I was the defensive player of the tournament. I did okay offensively, but whatever. And then from there, I went to the area code game in California at Long Beach State, and I really had a good tournament. Not to brag, but I really had a good tournament. So back then, you were allowed 5 official visits. So it was October, and I could take a visit every weekend. So the first one I went to University of Cal Berkeley. Then I went to Notre Dame. Then I went to Arizona State. Then I went to Miami, who I ended up signing with. So I still had one left, and I was going to go to Stanford. And a week before I was supposed to go, Marcus, the head coach at the time, called me and said, "We're going to cancel your visit." I said, "Coach, why?" He said, "You will never step foot on a college campus." And he was right. But that was, I think, the first time thinking, man, I could possibly go that high. And then I had a good senior year, and I really kind of fell into place. But I never thought it would be, because I was slight of size. I graduated 6'2", 170. I wasn't like a big guy, but I guess I kind of turned some heads. I had my brother to thank for that. A lot of scouts came to see him his senior year, and he ended up getting drafted in the 18th round. Decided to go to Vanderbilt. Came out after 3 years and was a first rounder with the Dodgers. So it helped out that a lot of the scouts were coming to see him. They're like, "Hey, who's this skinny kid behind the plate?" So kind of got the ball rolling.
Now, to follow up on that, that was, you interviewed Distilling, the kid from Alvin, the catcher for the Phillies. And then,
It is, yeah, but I didn't interview him.
I thought you did an interview.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
He's down in, what, Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you did something with one of the prospects.
The one-
Alvin.
The one kid I did last year at camp was a kid from Bonner.
Jimmy Hill,
What's that?
Jimmy Hill,
Yes, yeah, Jimmy Hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
big Delco boy, Jimmy Hill.
That's right. Believe it.
Did you have any insight on what's from Alvin?
No, I just really don't know, obviously, a long, just a few years ago, but, yeah, I have seen some video of him, watching, he can throw the heck out of baseball. He's got a pretty good stick too, so,
Yeah, I thought you were saying,
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So, one last question, so obviously being from the area, was there part of you that was hoping you would get drafted by the Phillies?
Yeah, there's always hope, I mean, to get drafted by your hometown team and play it. I always love coming back to town and playing. I get to sleep in my own bed, which was great, and get a good hoagie. So that was always nice, but I would always take them all into the ballpark. Guys love them. But yeah, it was always, dream maybe I could work out. But it was funny. The first game I played at the vet, those that are old enough to remember the vet, the bullpens were down the left field line and right field line. So I'm down the left field line, and you could look over in there into the bullpen and watch the guys throwing and all this stuff. So I'm warming up, bam, 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 bam. And all of a sudden, this guy dumps a beer on me, right? And I go, yo! He goes, welcome to Philly. I go, dude, I'm from here. He goes, yeah, welcome back. So, it was one of my first couple years, so I didn't have like multiple jerseys in my locker. So I remember going back in the dugout and I was like, dude, like, wait till after the game. And I'm like, nothing I can do. I forget who was umpiring that night. I went out for the bottom of the first, and the umpire's like, dude, you stink. I'm like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. Some guy dumped a beer on me. So it is what it is.
You waited an hour to tell that story. Hey, big hand, Ben Davis, come on. Thank you for coming out. Hopefully you'll come back. Love to have you. Last call on questions, not last call on beers. Anybody?
Got one more.
You got a guy coming? Okay. All right, we got the guys.
Ben, you were talking about Detroit Tony Gwynn.
Uh-huh.
What's your thought on this kind of analytic mindset that says batting average doesn't matter?
That's a great question. If you were to give me Luis Ariz right now, I'd take him any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I mean, this guy has won back-to-back batting titles, and he's been with 3 different teams.
Right.
I don't get it. Give me a guy that I will always be the batting average and RBI guy. That's the guy I want on my ball club. Because you can string hits together. You hit a solo home run, yeah, big deal. But if you string hits together, then that produces multiple runs, multiple RBIs. It's sad to say that I don't know if those 2 guys would have a place in baseball right now, which is crazy to think. Because, again, you're looking at someone who's very similar to Luis Ariz, and he's been with, again, 3 teams in a couple of years, and he's won 2 consecutive batting titles. They scratch your head.
It's amazing. Once you fix the analytics,
Great question. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Follow us, Facebook, YouTube, This Fan's View, along with Hanrahan's Irish Pub. Some great Irish music. Come on, give it up for the Irish music, right? Where's my man, Brian Friel? Brian, is he hiding? You'll even get a little rendition of Irish music from Brian. For what is it? First Friday of every month?
Yeah, he's shaking his head, yeah.
He's being bashful.
I'm here
Also
to
going
lose.
on.
I'm
We're
here to
going-
lose.
They're going up at BJ level. A lot of Irish love there. Again, thank you all for coming out, hanging out with us. We're gonna draw some raffle prizes. I think we even brought some Miss Fans View t-shirts. You give away all the beers? Nope. Nope. All right. Told you, be friends with Lauren.
Yeah.
And again, thanks for coming out.
My pleasure, thanks for having me. Thank you, everybody.